Good morning, Joseph. I hope all is well and we can achieve good things in our meeting this morning.
Good morning, sir. I am well and I'm looking forward to hearing how things are going with me from your perspective.
The purpose of this meeting, as I hope you're aware, is to look at some of the things that came up in your appraisal over the last 3 months. This is your first appraisal with us, isn't it?
Yeah, that's correct. I've had some informal conversations, but this is the first formal appraisal meeting that I've had.
Well, before we start in on the formal stuff, I'd just like to get an insight on how you've got on in your first 3 months here at the Blue Mountains Resort.
Well, the position I now hold is a lot different to my previous positions. Even though I worked in customer relations before, it wasn't as full on as this job is. But I enjoy working here and I find it's a very good work environment. As I said though, it was a little hard to adjust to at the beginning.
Well, that sounds good and positive. Now let's look at the appraisal report. You've had a good look at it, I hope. I also see you made a comment yourself. We'll come to that later on.
Yes, I've seen the report and I understand what it said.
I think the easiest way to do this is to go through the points in order. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Now, when you report, you were given a copy of the resort's standard operating procedures. These procedures made it clear about what you should do and ensure that everybody was following the same lines. Generally, we are happy with the way you have settled into following these procedures. Our only concern is that you're a little, how can I say it, amiss in reaching sales targets. You seem reluctant to push our sales services to the clients as they come in. The purpose of providing these extra services is to give our clients a full experience in the mountains. Also, you realise that by not reaching your targets, you are costing yourself money. Also, these are a genuine strength for income for the report.
I know that this is a weakness on my part. I'm new to sales. It wasn't part of my previous position. And I have found it difficult to speak up about these services. I find it that by the time I sort out the housekeeping issues, I lose track of selling extras. And another part of this is that I'm new to the area and I am just finding out a lot about what's around here that is on offer. People have been helpful in adding to my store of knowledge, but there is so much to take in this beautiful part of the world.
I appreciate what you're saying, but it's imperative that you improve in this area. In lots of cases, you are the first point of call for our clients. They see you as the know-it-all. And if you are unable to answer their queries, they lose a little faith in what we are offering. To help you in this regard, I have a couple of extras that I think you'll find you'll enjoy.
Well, I'm glad to see you understand my problems, and of course I will follow any guidelines that you have put in place to help. I'm also aware that some clients are disappointed when I can't give them that information that they want.
Yeah, I can again appreciate that, and I can see that where you're coming from. But firstly, to the sales issue. Our sales manager, Mr. Wilford Johnson, is going to take you in hand and become a mentor to you. He will give you guidelines and guidance and some tips on the sales front. He obviously, from a salesperson, is concerned you have not reached your target, and he is not expecting you to at this stage. He will give you advice on sales technique. Some of the lack of sales may have to tie in with your local knowledge, but more on that later. Mr. Johnson has had great experience and he knows the areas that interest our clients.
That's good. Mr. Johnson has already offered me some advice. He said he was aware of my lack of experience in sales and I look forward to his help. Confidence is what I think I lack when it comes to pushing sales. I get carried away with other topics of conversation and neglect the sales pitch.
Well, that's not a bad thing, I suppose. Now to the second point about your local knowledge of attractions, restaurants, etc. in the area. It is imperative we strengthen this area in order to satisfy our customers' wishes. Again, I've arranged some extracurricular stuff with Mr. Burchard from the local lost it.
Information Centre.
Those tourist information.
Yeah.
He's going to provide some instruction and assistance in this regard. Mr. Burchard Association will give you access to their resources and to increase your knowledge. In addition, we will provide time for you to accompany him to visit some of the attractions, restaurants and so on.
That's good.
Okay, I feel that seeing these places and knowing where they are will help with your client interaction about them. Does this sound okay to you?
Yeah, that sounds great. The mountains certainly have much to offer, and as I've said, it's a bit foreign to me, so I really will look forward to that. Meeting with Mr. Bircher and his associates with the intention of visiting the different places will give me a greater insight into them, and it will be good to visit places I have heard of but I've never been to or seen. I believe that will fully help me present them to our clients. The experiences I have will be of enormous value, so I think that's a really great idea.
Good. We'll get both these plans in action as soon as possible. That is one area of concern dealt with. Now for another that's causing perplexity, the record keeping. It's a little bit out of the way. There have been some inaccuracies noted in your paperwork. The problems have been rectified, but there was probably no reason for the errors in the first place. You appreciate the problem, I hope, and the ramifications it may have.
Yes, I'm not really keen on doing the paperwork, but I know it is a necessary evil, and I can appreciate the concern that this has caused, and I do apologise if my tardiness has caused you too much inconvenience.
Yeah, the problem is you need to be more careful in preparing and entering data into the various journals, our various records. I know that your writing, like a spider's crawl, has caused the secretaries to frown, and sometimes they think they may need an interpreter. A lot of time wasting has occurred in chasing up the required details, and this has proved an inconvenience to a lot of us.
People have always complained about my writing, but I've never done anything about it, unfortunately. But I will try to be far more careful in the future. The different logs also took a little bit of time to get used to, I feel. And I feel that not enough assistance was forthcoming in my introduction to the position. The induction program did not emphasise the paperwork that had to be completed. It was skipped over, I felt, a little bit too quickly.
I must look into that, but thanks for your comment about that. I will look into the emphasis placed on paperwork. It is important to us, and we should put more emphasis on making everything up to date. It would certainly help the situation if you can somehow see your way to improve this issue. A lot of the worry will disappear as we gradually shift to the computers. Training will start in the next 2 weeks in that area, and that'll bring everyone onto the same level. It could also be said you're not the only member of staff who needs help in completing paperwork. Some are worse than you, don't worry.
Yes, you're right in saying that that will make things easier. I look forward to advancing my computer skills. Will that training be worked on?
Yes. We will allow time for the employers to fulfil this training. A part of our ongoing training program. There's always new things happening, and we have to cover these up. Well, I think that's all the negatives out of the way. Thank goodness for that, eh? I would say that in general, management was happy with the way you've settled into the place. Customer service surveys often mention you. Customers prepare a survey every time they leave, and in fact 92%, which is pretty good, of our clients give you a big tick for the services you provide. That should make you feel good. They note that you greet them in a friendly, professional manner. This is good for the resort, as you are most clients' first point of call. Yes. They see you before anybody else. I have also been informed you have developed good contacts with local taxis and other hire companies. This also helps our clients.
Meeting people from different spheres is one of the exciting parts of this job. People are fascinating, and hearing potted impressions of their travels adds to the job. Helping people has always been a characteristic that has been drummed into me by my parents from when I was little. It adds satisfaction. I find you have to have job satisfaction, and this is a major part of what I'm finding here. It's always good to see the smile and the appreciation on the clients' faces.
That's good. I'm glad to hear that. And keep up the good work in that area. As I say, it helps present a friendly face for the people as they arrive. There are another couple of areas I would like to congratulate you on. Your presentation is always first rate, and this again has drawn many favourable comments. And you're always punctual. It's good that somebody follows the rules, gets there on time, and we know we can depend on that happening. There are, again, as I mentioned earlier, there are a lot of other members of staff who could take note of this.
I've always taken pride in my appearance and punctuality. These two things are the first to be presented when meeting people for the first time. The impression you create initially stays with that person for all time. This can only be good for your future. Should have done the bottom.
It's good to see you reasonably well with your colleagues. We here at the resort treat ourselves as a happy family, and cooperation between staff is important. We believe the happy group will work better, be more productive, and aid in our position as one of the top places in the mountains. I realise everybody has different traits, but collectively we can get there.
I know I'm a bit of a loner away from work. I know others have commented on my lack of attendance at after work functions, but that's me. I'm also one of the few on staff who have to travel nearly an hour to get to work and return
That's right,
home.
I appreciate that, yes.
So that puts a little bit of a dampener on my socialising.
I understand this situation, but it would be nice if you could see your way to mingle with your colleagues now and then in a social perspective.
I'll do my best to attend some futures in the future. It's not that I do not want to attend these functions, but the time sometimes just isn't convenient. The time is sometimes inconvenient when I have to travel as far as I do.
I think everybody can appreciate that point. Most of us live locally, which makes the job easier, but when you've got to come up the mountains every day and then go home again, if functions go on, you don't want to be going home late at night.
That's correct.
Carrying on with this appraisal report, you know that we have a rewards program as part of our terms of employment. Amongst these is an award for customer service. You should know as a result of this appraisal, you will be nominated for that award. A decision will be made soon. Congratulations, and I hope you succeed.
Oh, thank you very much. That makes me feel a lot better. Recognition of what I have done will make me continue in this way and perhaps strive for a higher standard.
Okay, I think that covers everything. So let's just sum up what we've had. We look forward to a more consistent future. The areas you need to follow up are the ones that need fairly immediate concern. Much of the areas of concern can be rectified within the company's normal training program. As I said, we're going to institute computer programming, and that will take over some of these standard procedures. You're not alone in some of the deficiencies, so a training program will be instituted, as I just said. This will make things clearer for you. As time progresses, our technology is being improved. Computers are being replaced, the printers are being replaced, online terminals, everything's going online, as you know.
Yes.
Time allowance will be given so that you may consolidate your knowledge of the mountains. You'll give more time to spend with Mr. Bircher, which seems to be going very, very well, and his associates. Mr. Johns will be contacting you, and he will sort out some areas and times to have training with him. I think that's about for this time. Do you have any comments?
Well, I'm very keen to satisfy the demands of my position as concierge. I am aware of deficiencies in my local knowledge and welcome this opportunity to spend time with Mr. Bircher. As far as the paperwork is concerned, I really will make an effort to improve in that regard. And the extra training will benefit me, I'm convinced, when I start learning more about the computers. and I know that in essence I'm going to become a far more valuable employee to you.
That's a really great attitude. I hope you can stick with it. We enjoy having you on staff and look forward to a long association. So good morning.
Thank you very much. Good morning.